let us learn many more concepts of classes. Here we are defining a new called message. Okay, and here now we'll also use the private declaration. Say int n, one of the variable has been declared as private, and we'll use the public functions also, where see this private variable cannot be initialized here itself. I cannot say int n is equal to 0 or 1. The reason is that class by itself is a template only. It doesn't have a storage place by itself. So we cannot use class where initialization can be done directly. We cannot do. So we'll have a way to set this variable. Say we are setting this, and whatever value we want to set, we are passing. So we are writing a function where we can set this n value, and that will pass, and we can also return this value if we want, so that we can set and read this value. This is one of the ways. Now we'll also write a function to display it, display n, and here we are not returning anything, so this will be void. Here what we'll do is that we'll display it some number of times. Whatever is n, that many number of times we'll display a message. That's why it's a message. So we'll do int I is equal to 0 and then I less than n. So whatever that n is there, it's a private variable, so it can be used within the class, not outside the class. N is a private variable here. I plus plus, and here we'll try to display. Say I am just to encourage you, I am writing it I can learn, right? And just let us print it that many times, as many times as the user wants it. Okay, so in the main we'll declare our object, say message m. Here we are returning number of times into t, and m is a object of message, so that we can write here, and set n. Now this we can pass here directly, which number will be passed as integer, and that will be set as n, and that will be returned. So here we are learning function calling, or we can call it method calling with param, and returned value uses, because we are returning it to t. Then we are saying that how many times we are printing, number of t times. So we'll write printing message t times, right? And because it is a sentence, I'll make it small. Then we'll try to use this display function. So display n number of times. So this is also a case of calling function. Here this function sets a value as well as returns it, and that returned value we are using to display here how many times we are printing this message, and this will print that message using this for loop where 0 to n times. So if I pass 5, I should be able to print this message for 5 times, because it will run from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this way we are using class on a concept of private and public is there, where this n can be used within this class only. So these class functions are using it. I cannot use this n directly here. I am simply returning this n into this t variable. So let us run this program. Build and run. There is some error, I think. Let us decode that error. Let us see the error message here into build messages. Before cout, yes, this is missing. So this error should be gone now. Should be running now. Yes, printing message 5 times. I can learn, I can learn, I can learn, I can learn. And if I change this value, say I change this value to 7, so it will easily do that. Just see. Printing message 7 times. This number of times also the class function has done that job. Okay. So few more small concepts, let us learn them also. Suppose I make this public variable, this int n, right? And this I am not using here. In that case, I can directly even show that here. For example, printing message n times, but m dot n times. I can use that directly, because even if it is set, this will set the number. So I don't need to actually use t now. That value is redundant. Printing message this many times, because now it is a public accessible variable. And since it is a variable and this is the class object name, I can use it. I can use it object name dot function name. So both methods and variables, if they are public, can be used directly outside the class. Just we'll use them again. So this is actually coming from the class variable because it is now a public variable. Now one more thing I would like to tell you. This object name we have declared here can actually also go at the end of the class here before the semicolon. So this class message can have object name here, and the advantage of using it here is that this has a global scope. For example, this particular declaration we could use it only wherever this scope was there, that means within that function. Now this m I can use it in as many functions as I like. So global scope can also be given if required. So let us see it. Should work. Yes, it is working with the global scope as well. And I can declare even multiple objects here. That will also work. Suppose I use this as n, so this n object will also work here. Interestingly, a class can have as many objects as you want it to give. It can work here. Yeah, it is working. So class objects can have a global scope as well as scope within a function or some routine. But sometimes a person wants a class to be secured within a function, so they use local scope. Right? So here I would delete this and again correct the program to this local scope. This is sometimes a preferred way for being a secured thing, because then in that case it can be used only within a certain thing, and outside it the values inside cannot be corrupted. Okay, so everything has an advantage as well as a disadvantage. Okay.
Please like,
share and subscribe.